again. Number 2.
Where's
Zeke is the all-star mole. Whoever voted on a quiz that Zeke was the mole.
What?
Whoever voted on a quiz.
I'm sorry, I was a quiz. Who's the mole?
Our final 4.
I know, I tried to say, I thought it was her.
Montana Mole All-Stars was really fun. Actually, I hated it. I hated playing Montana Mole All-Stars, if I'm being brutally honest, because probably the whole first day and a half I felt completely played and out of the loop, and I was so confused because everyone was blatantly voting for Michael and telling everyone that they were voting for Michael. They didn't even think it was Michael, but everyone was voting for him, and I just did not understand. I even brought up to the group of Simon, Amy, and Tate that I thought it was Zeke, and they totally and completely discounted that one.
So it wasn't until there were 7 left where Zeke got a vote to be the mole.
I suspected her before that, though.
Why don't you talk about your suspecting of Zeke from the beginning?
Well, let me tell you how it all went down.
When I first, I don't think I really watched her, but when she was still in that night for the sushi challenge, I was like, okay, she can't just be here. She's not a good player. Because she was the mole. I don't think she even is sure how the game is played. But then I think it's Zeke because it still makes, I'm like, why is she still here? Why is she still here? Like, this is what happened in our season. Why is she still here? She doesn't have an alliance with anyone, no one likes her. Like, either she knows who the mole is or she is the mole. Like, there's no way she could just be here. Like, why is she here? I keep looking and I'm like, will you please leave soon? Either Zeke's good at the game, which I just don't see unless she just sits at her house and watches the mole and scrutinizes it every day. And I'm wondering why in the world is she still in? She has to have an alliance. She either knows who the mole is, or she has an alliance, or she's the mole. My gut tells me Zeke. My gut is telling me to go for Zeke. Well, Paul laid out some wonderful clues for me to figure out that it was Zeke.
I wanted to add that I think I should have hired Emily as my clue planter this season. She came to me with the conclusion, I know it's Zeke.
I had done some research prior to coming on the show, and I researched the real mole on Wikipedia, and had seen that in one of the challenges on their mole, the host was carrying an apple, which was a clue to the hometown of the mole. And we happened to be eating at a Japanese restaurant, and how many people were born in Japan? 1, and it was Zeke. And so I just figured that Paul had put that in as a clue, and then I had picked up on it, so I started watching her. And then the morning rolls around, and we do the play 12th Night, which is a Shakespeare play, which was one of the clues in the real mole when Bill was the mole. And so I was like, well, Shakespeare, mole, scoundrel, 12th Night, who has 12 siblings, another really obscure thing, Zeke has 12 siblings. Like, all these obscure clues that no one else had was pointing straight to Zeke.
Emily came up and said she was pretty sure I wasn't the mole, so she had all this like crazy idea like why it was Zeke for some reason because of the, you know, eating sushi and yeah, the play and stuff.
I knew I could trust Tate after really bonding with him by spooning on Paul's deck, and I knew he wasn't the mole because my Secret Alliance Kelsey had been voting for him. That's who we both had been voting for when she ended up getting out. So I knew it wasn't him, so I confided in him with these clues, and he's like, oh yeah, that can't be a coincidence. And so that was all the reassurance I needed.
But yeah, Emily definitely like kind of like confided in me, and we had this big plan that she was gonna get you know, wait to turn hers in very last and vote for Zeke, and then we would know for sure that she was going to have it because I had immunity on that one anyway.
However, much to my dismay, he got the exemption, which I didn't want him to get because I wanted us to both be voting for Zeke just in case it wasn't that. Anyway, push comes to shove. He's like, Emily, you need to turn your quiz in last and vote all for Zeke. And I was like, okay, you know, this is the time in the game. I'm either going to get out or I'm going to figure out who the mole is and be the winner. And so I turned it in last with all Zeke information, and I was still in. It was crazy.
You know, I guess I did pretty good because, you know, the only person who actually, like, caught on to me was Emily this for All-Stars. But, you know, she was gunning for me, like, because she's like, why are you here, why are you here, why are you here? You know, she didn't think that I was a good player, but, you know, I think I was a pretty kick-ass player, even though I was the mole. And, you know, I give her kudos for her doing what she did. She stepped back. You know, she played mind games with herself for a long time until she just, you know, went with her gut. And that's why she's a winner.
Now I need to talk to Tate. Tate, why did you lose Montana Mole 3? Why Why'd you lose?
I think that I forgot the dice number.
No, we're talking about season 3. Why did you lose season 3?
Why did we season 3? Oh.
Why did you lose season 3?
Because I forgot Simon's stupid number.
You had it in first and ever. I have a question for you. Which season is Zeke from?
Oh. He didn't know what season I was. He put me as season 1. Season 2. Come on.
Yeah, made it all the way to the end. Turned it in first. Thought I was right. Got out of an easy question. Paul, I've got an underdog legacy to keep up. I'm not going to let people down.
So he turns his quiz in first, so I just do mine really slowly and make sure I know everything, because who would get the season that the mole was in wrong? Who gets that wrong?
I want each of our execute players to have a word in here. So our first execute, Amanda. What was it like transferring from producer to contestant to first person out?
It was a rough ride. I'm not gonna lie. I learned I can't play the mole at all.
What did you do that first round?
What?
What did you do that first
I
round?
tried the Amanda strategy and it failed miserably, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, how are you feeling being such early executee?
I'm pissed!
Uh-huh.
I was like, I had like all the things going on, I'm like, alright, da-da-da, and all these like conspiracy, like, I was planning to like take random pages out of people's notebooks and like put them in someone's bag, and then like tip it over, like, oh my god! And like all this stuff, like this monotony, this planning, and then like the first quiz, I'm like, I just have to get it done, like all these plans, and bam! Out! Just lights go off, and I cried for about 2 hours.
Okay, next. It didn't like hit me until I got out. I was like, oh shoot, my bag is stolen. I don't have any of my stuff. Great. And I was so mad at myself because I voted for Emily again, and I knew you were telling the truth!
I really didn't like have enough time to know who the mole was. I was kind of biding my time, and I was just trying to do whatever I could to stay in. So like I didn't see any sabotage really, except for, now that I think back, Zeke taking the exemption at dinner.
This season was totally different for me because last season I pretty much walked in and knew who the mole was. First execution quiz. This time I was clueless and it sucked. And I didn't have Kelsey or Garrett or Colin on my side, and they were my crutches, obviously.
I knew coming into this that if Amanda lasted longer than I did, I would never hear the end of it. 50-year class reunion. Amanda would have brought up how she outlasted me in Mole All-Stars. So my goal was to make sure that I lasted longer than Amanda Prickle.
Well, congratulations. Our trooper number 2 for day 2 was Amy over there. Why don't you talk about... Well, I guess you could talk about falling off that hill. But,
I think everyone will see that.
Yeah.
I hope.
What did that do for your game, do you think? Or do you think
Oh, what did that do for my game? It ended it.
Hey, I just want to say, a lot of us still thought because she fell that she was the mole, and that was all part of it.
What was it like going from mole to player? Who actually you performed quite well. I'll have to give it to you.
It really sucked because I had no idea what to do, because before I didn't have to worry about it, and this time I was just really freaked out and I didn't know what to do.
Okay, next was Megan. First of all, what?
No, can I ditto on what Simon said? And then as the mole, you know all of the tasks ahead of time and like how everything's supposed to be laid out. And then you can like go aside with Paul and like when he does your interviews, because Paul almost always does your interviews because you're the mole and he has to tell you things. So you can just ask any question and you get an answer. So it was really frustrating not being able to get answers
No, Paul,
this
you
time.
have to tell me. It was like, no.
And I was like, you have to tell me. And he was like, no. And I was like, dang it, he's right. Anyway, what was your question?
I'm done.
I definitely liked the All-Stars better than season 1 because I actually got to play the game. It was a whole lot of fun to be the mole. It was just, I had no idea how to be a good mole. So I actually knew what I was doing this time.
What was it like being the first winner and almost coming very close to being a repeat winner?
Well, this season was a lot harder because I didn't think the vote for Megan strategy would work, and apparently I was right.
I didn't even know who was playing till the day before, because Paul didn't want to tell us too soon because of the season 4 hadn't wrapped up yet at the time of filming All Stars. So It wasn't until it wasn't until I got there and Paul asked me at the opening interviews what it felt like to be the only winner, that I realized that I was the only winner who actually came back to play again. And so I actually got a bunch of people telling me during the season that they didn't feel that I deserved to win again. And so there was some hate there.
I don't think I had any point in the game where I absolutely was sure. I mean, I thought it was Amy for a long time, and that sprained her ankle.
During this season, I think my opinion on who the mole was changed pretty much every single episode.